Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you can join me here today. I'd love to share some amazing news with you. So I recently found out that I've got a place in the London Marathon. The London Marathon is one of the biggest marathon events in the world. They're meant to be about 50,000 runners plus who'll be running in the London Marathon next year, on the 27th of April 2025. And I am so honored to be one of those 50,000 runners who get a chance to not to compete but to run in something that is so great. Because when you run a marathon, I've never run a marathon before, so this will be my first marathon. But when you run a marathon, after you finish the marathon, it is an accomplishment that no one can put to words. You have to experience that accomplishment. I've run half marathon, so I know what that feels like in terms of accomplishing the feat that you've actually run 13.1 miles. And in my case, I've most of my half marathons I've done, at least two or three of them out of the four, I've run without stopping. So I haven't walked those half marathons. I tried to. So I mean that's an accomplishment that I have achieved for myself, and that's something I'm very proud of, from being a person who never really ran. So prior to May, I started running in May 2023, and prior to that, I really didn't really run a lot. The most I would have run would be possibly like 3 kilometers, maybe 4 kilometers, maybe 5 kilometers, but that was way back when I was younger. So I took up running in May 2023, and I thought, you know what, let's see how I can push myself. So a few weeks into my running journey, I signed up for my first half marathon in Nottingham in the UK, and it was just a challenge for myself, just to see if I can actually do it. And I did it. I actually managed to go from not running at all to running a half marathon within the space of 4 months. Um, I and that Within that space of 4 months, I also had an injury, because basically I have flat feet, which means if you have flat feet, as a runner, it's harder for you to run, because normally most people have arch feet. So when the foot touches the ground, the impact is felt throughout the whole foot. But because I have flat feet, as my foot touches the ground, imagine the whole foot is touching the ground. The impact goes mostly on the toes and on the ankles at the back as well. And what happened was I got tendonitis, which means my ankle got swollen, and for 3 weeks I couldn't run. And it was through this journey that I found out that I had flat feet. I did not know that I had flat feet prior to that, because I mean I didn't have a reason to find out, right? So I learned that through the hard way, and then I slowly got back into running. I ran my half marathon. I ran a second half marathon, and then this year I ran two half marathons. I achieved my personal best in Leicester in the UK last month in October 2024, at a time of 1 hour 57 minutes, and something that I'm very proud of, that because I was aiming for a sub 2 time, and I'm very proud that I actually managed to put in the hard work and to achieve that. But now it's time to go to a higher level, to push things further, because I want to prove to myself, I don't need to show it to anyone, but to prove to myself that I can do things that are hard, that are difficult. Running is very difficult for me. Like I said, I've got flat feet. I'm not physically built to run. Maybe that's a wrong thing to say, because anyone can run, essentially. But I never considered myself as a runner. But now that I've started running quite a lot, and I've actually started to love it and enjoy it. I decided that maybe it's time for me to push myself a bit further and see what I can do. So when I got a place in the London Marathon, I as you can imagine, I was very excited. So let me tell you a bit more about the London Marathon, and then I'll go back to my marathon story. So the London Marathon is one of the biggest marathon events in the world, as I said. It is the sixth major Abbott marathon event. So in the world, there are six marathon events that if you take part in all six, then you get a special medal that you've completed these. So these are London, you have Berlin, you have Boston, Chicago, New York, and Tokyo. And from 2025, from next year onwards, there's a seventh one that's been added, and that's Sydney. So six done, and then the seventh one next year will be Sydney, and that'll be the seven world major Abbott marathon events. If you run all seven of them, you get a special medal, to show that you've run all seven of the world major marathons. I mean, that's a long way away from me. I'm still I'm still going to start training for my first marathon. So, but that's something to have at the back of my mind, that maybe one day I'd love to be able to achieve all seven. Who knows? Who knows? But I decided that I want to push myself a bit further and do something that is uncomfortable, that is hard. Running is hard. Anyone who runs will tell you running is hard. And it's a challenge I've set myself because I've never run a marathon in my life before. The most I've run is 15 miles so far. A marathon is 26.2 miles. I mean, that's a lot. Imagine running a marathon, 26.2 miles. It's a lot to run on your feet. And it's something that I've decided that I want to challenge myself. I want to see if I can actually do this, because I think in life, if you don't set yourself challenges and goals, and if you don't go ahead with doing things that are difficult and hard, you'll be stuck in your own comfort zone and you'll never move forward. And for me, running has been one of those things where I've tried to push myself out of my comfort zones. I mean, I've run when it's been dark. I've run in negative degrees. I mean, it's been really, really cold, but I've still gone out and run. I've run in the rain, and I've tried to do it because I want to push myself and I want to prove to myself that no matter what happens, you can still get out there, go for a run, come rain, hail, sun or shine, whatever it is. You go out there and you run because you set yourself a goal and you want to complete that goal and do it to the best way possible. So I've set myself this challenge. Now, I haven't started the training yet. The training is to come, but it's going to be 18 weeks of hard work. I'm planning to run maybe 3 to 4 times a week, and maybe up it to maybe 5 times a week as I get closer to the marathon. And the whole point is you basically do different types of runs. So you have something called an easy run, where you just run at an easy pace. Then you have a long run, which is basically going to be obviously your long run. So you start off with 8 miles, and then you move up 10 miles, 12, 14, 16. And then the longest one I would run before your marathon would be about 20 miles or 22 miles. They say that you don't have to run a full marathon before your marathon, because essentially if you can run 20 miles, your body is used to running, and you can essentially push yourself to 26 miles. Now we'll see when the time comes. I mean, it's still a few months away for that, but for now the aim is to run, I think, 20 miles as the longest run. And the next one is interval runs. And for interval runs, what you do is you basically adjust your pace. So you start off slowly, and then you increase your pace, you come back to your first pace, and then you move up again and then move back down. So essentially you're trying to move up and down in your interval pace, because that your body basically gets used to faster speeds and longer distances as you do that. So that's interval pace. And then you have tempo runs. Tempo runs is where you basically push yourself to 85% of your running capacity, your capability. I forgot to say, for interval runs, you basically, when you run the faster runs, you run it at marathon pace. So you can start off easy and then run the run at marathon pace, and then go back to easy and then go back to marathon pace, and that's how you flip and flop. And then tempo runs, like I said, are 85% of your runs, of your effort. So you basically run, but you know that you can still run faster, you can still run longer, but essentially you're just trying to run as much as you can, but not pushing yourself all the way to the top, right? Not 100%, 85%, and that's a tempo run. And essentially that's the kind of things that I would do in my running training, marathon training. And hopefully, so I want to complement that with weight training as well, because you have to build your muscles too. So I'll basically have alongside my runs, which are maybe 3, 4, 5 times a week, I'll do 1 or 2 days of cardio, of weight training, lifting weights, especially lower body, obviously leg days. I'll do some upper body as well, biceps, triceps. I'll try and make myself generally stronger, so I can become more of an all-rounded person. So while I'm going out for runs, I'm also developing and increasing my fitness and my strength, internal strength as well. So that's the second thing that I'll be doing for marathon training. So the first is the runs itself. The second is going to be the weight training. The third, which I think is very important. Anyone who runs a marathon will tell you that you run your marathon in your head first, and then you run it out there. You have to be very strong mentally, because at mile 20, when people hit the wall, that's when your mental framework comes in. So your body will give up, but it's your mind that will have to keep on going, right? So your mind will have to force, because your body will say, okay, let's stop, let's slow down, let's start walking, we can't do this anymore. And it's your mind that will have to fight back, because your body has the strength. Once you've trained for it, your body is ready to do it, but it's because you've been under so much pressure and under so much strain, your body will start slagging, and it's up to your mind to start pushing yourself forward. So as part of my marathon training, I'm going to try and train my mind, and make my mind stronger, so that I can I can basically push myself further. And that could be listening to people like David Goggins, or some motivational tracks that will help me develop that, or also doing things that are hard. So I recently started, I don't do cold plunges, but what I do is, before I shower, I have a blast of cold water on me, and that jolts me, and I feel like that's helping me to to get used to the pain, to become comfortable with pain, because in a marathon I have to be comfortable, because I'll be aching so much that I'll have to be comfortable with the pain as I run. So you're essentially running on tired legs, and you have to keep on enduring that pain and trying to make sure you keep on going as much as you can. um, and I think that's essentially very, very important as part of my marathon training. It's not just the physical training; it's the mental training that will be very, very important for me in my head, to make sure I'm mentally strong enough to basically challenge myself and keep on going when it matters. Because the first 10, 15, 20 miles hopefully should be all right once you've trained, but it's the last 6 miles where you have to push yourself, because you hit the wall and you're like, 6 miles is a lot after you've run 20 miles. I mean, I've run 15 miles is the most, and I absolutely died when I ran 15 miles. A half marathon is hard enough as it is. So that's something I need to make sure I train myself with, and that is something I'll make sure I do, and that is to train myself mentally and make myself mentally strong. And the fourth thing, and obviously this is, I'm just a novice here. I'm just starting off, so I'm just sharing what I know, what I've learned, what I've, after speaking to some people who've done marathons, and learning from them. The fourth thing that I think that is important is getting the right shoes. Training is very important, but if you don't have the right shoes, you're going to suffer. I have flat feet, like I said before, so I'm going to do a gait analysis, to try and see which is the best type of footwear or shoes that I need for my half marathon, for my full marathon. Sorry, not half marathon, for my marathon. But at the same time, I've already got some shoes. So at the moment, I use a shoe called New Balance 1080. It's a foam shoe. It's quite comfortable. But I recently got a new pair of shoes, which I can share with you here. So the shoes I got are the A6 Nova Blast 4. So they come in a pretty box, and I'll just they're brand new. I haven't used them yet, but I'll show you what they look like. So these are the A6 Nova Blast 4. Um, Essentially a very, very good looking pair of shoes. I really love the look of it. I chose this color. There are different types of eccentric colors that running shoes come under. But this is the one I chose, and I love the look of it. And essentially, when you're running, one of the things I think is important is you should feel good while running. And if you look good, and you know that you look good while running, you like the gear you're wearing, I feel like psychologically you tend to be comfortable with being out there in public, right? Being out there in the run, and you feel like, okay, I actually look good, and I look the part, and shoes play a big part in it. So if you look how intricate this is. Like, this is just such a lovely pair of shoes. Look at that. So yeah, I haven't tested them yet. I just got them recently. I'm going to take them for a test drive very soon, and see how they fare. So this is one of the pairs that I've got. I'm planning to get 2 or 3 more pairs of different types of shoes that I'm going to test out. And then for marathon day, I haven't decided what I'm going to wear for marathon day, but essentially that's something that I need to um, need to think about. I'll try different pairs, and whichever works for me is the one I'll be wearing on marathon day. But I'll share more details as I get closer to the marathon. But for now, this is it. And essentially, the last thing that is very important in marathon training is, and I think this is probably the most important thing, is that I should be having fun. The whole point is you're going out there, you're doing something really hard, but if you hate every moment of it, you won't get very far. Which is why I think it's important to have fun while you are running. And I am going to make a positive mindset for myself. I'll go out of my way to make sure that I'm actually having fun while I'm running, because once you have fun, then things become easier, because then you take the pain because you're enjoying everything as it comes. So while I'm running the marathon, I want to, at the front of, not just at the back of my mind, at the front of my mind, I want to tell myself I'm having fun. And essentially I did this for my latest half marathon. I was really struggling after mile 10. I was very, very struggling. In fact, after 6 miles, it was hard, but from mile 10 onwards, it was really, really hard. And I told myself, look, it doesn't matter what time I get. It doesn't matter how long it takes me to finish. I am here to have fun. So I'm just going to keep on going ahead, but I'm going to go ahead and start having fun while I'm doing it. And I think it made a big difference. It made a very big difference. And I was very, very happy to be able to finish at a time of 1 hour 57 minutes, which is a sub 2 time. Even though I thought I had lost it. I thought I would probably finish at 2 hours 10 minutes because I felt like I was going slower than I should have, and all of that stuff. And obviously your mind plays tricks on you, which is why I think it's very important to have a strong mental framework. So that's the fifth thing I'm going to do. I'm going to try and make sure I have fun while I'm training, and also during the marathon day itself. I'm going to try and my best to have fun, because it's only by having that mindset that you're having fun, you're enjoying yourself, will you keep on pushing yourself and going forward. Because in the marathon, you're aiming for a time, but at the same time, you also don't want to get occupied so much by the time, or preoccupied, that you forget to have fun, which means you don't perform to your best of your ability. Because I strongly believe that when you have fun, you perform to the best of your ability. So yeah, essentially I'm going to start having fun, because I think that's very important. So that's it from me for this week. I thought I'd just share my tips and tricks that I'm going to use for my marathon training. I'm very excited to dig in. It's still a bit early. You need about 18 weeks to train for it. So I'm going to start training for it in mid-December. For now, I'm just going to keep on doing my regular runs. I'll try and do a bit of weightlifting and a bit of strength training as well if I can. And then until December time, mid-December, maybe around the third week of December, I'll start training for it, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll definitely keep you updated on my progress. I'm actually raising funds for a charity that I will share more details in the upcoming days. A charity that's very close to my heart, and a cause that's very close to my heart too. So I'll share more details as I go on. But for now, I'm very excited to start thinking about this marathon and trying to see how much I can push myself, because I believe that the magic happens outside the comfort zone, and this is one of the ways I'm going to push myself to actually do the hardest thing I'm ever going to do, which is run a marathon. It is hard work, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. So yeah, that's it from me for this week. Until next time, see you soon.